I've been thinking a lot about this Elden Ring, and I've been playing it quite a bit. What do you think about Elden Ring? I know you played it in the past. Why did you fall off?
So that one is less a problem with the game, and it was more of a problem with me. I got kind of like lazy. I'm a pro gamer, so I don't know if you know this, but I play the best strategy there is to Elden Ring. I pay no
Yep.
attention to anything I'm doing, run headlong into danger, and die continuously. So,
Yeah.
as you can imagine, that play style burns out pretty quickly,
Yeah.
especially when the boss just like kind of cannon fodders you for like 35 minutes.
Yeah. When you first started, were you on PC with me? Because I first played Elden Ring on PC.
I think I do have it on the PC. Yeah.
Yeah, because for me, that was one of my biggest reasons I fell off is I just could not. It was very annoying at the time because I was watching a video today and they mentioned it and that brought back all these memories flooding back where it's like the multiplayer was just garbage. You were
Oh,
constantly getting
yeah.
disconnected. There was so much stuttering and freezing and slowdown in the game. Like I definitely got a decent ways into the game, but that definitely impaired my enjoyment of it. Because for me, the Souls games are all about the co-op and the multiplayer. Like I like the fun, and I just had one of those experiences just last night I was telling you about where you're fighting a boss, there's no summons, there's nobody putting their sign down, you just muscle through it and you finally beat the boss, and you have that great feeling of euphoria, like I did it. But, like, that's good and all, but I really like with Souls games when you can play with other people, like, kinda shepherd people through, like, "Hey, put your sign down over by that rock, and I'll summon you into my world," but
That's
I
the
don't know.
one problem I have with those games is that like I think it's just I don't pay attention well enough or whatnot because those games you almost have to like you actually have to listen to what they're talking about. You got to look through the items, and I typically use the games as an escape. So when it makes me do that, I'm like, well, I'm checking out the story. I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna kill indiscriminately.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I do really admit though, when we did try to play co-op together, it was a nightmare, but that world is still pretty awesomely created. Like they did a fantastic job of just creating a decent atmosphere, and then when you want like you wander around aimlessly until you find places, and every little place has its own like personality and crazy ass mobs running around trying to murder you for just existing.
Yeah, that's something I've been thinking about a lot since our last video. It's like with Elden Ring, I know that they did something new. This is a departure from Dark Souls, and it at first I was kind of disappointed by it because I really like Dark Souls. I like the lore of Dark Souls. I like the whole theme and the story, and it's just kind of cool. It's like you got everything you could ever want in a fantasy tale. You got zombies, and you know, it's cool. And then this, they keep a lot of it the same, but I, what do you think of the whole garden aesthetic to it, the themes, like you have all these mushrooms and the plants and the references to botany, like grafting, flesh instead of plants, like
It's very interesting to see what they did do with it because just like the different worlds, like how the above world is all built up with the fungus and everything, but then underneath it it's a completely different reality and it's like a different realm in general, and just trying to figure that out because I swear that's where I spent most of my gameplay was just putzing around in the basements because I just figured out that there's an elevator in the middle of the level you can go down, and there's like
yeah.
these giant awful monsters waiting to murder you.
Yeah, it's crazy. I just the more I think about it, and I've been learning more and more because I'm kind of like you. Like when I play these games, I just kind of like to shut my brain off a little bit. I'm still paying attention to the surroundings. I love when you walk into a new zone and you're like, "What the hell is this? What am I looking at now?" Suddenly there's a big lava pool here, and I go down a coffin, and now there's a big giant void scorpion in front of me. But
It's crazy the amount of detail that they place into those level design because I swear there's always like little nooks and crannies you can just explore through when you're playing the game. And there's like an absurd amount of them, I feel like. Like every
yeah,
level I find that there's hidden stuff just hanging out doing crazy things in the corner, and then there's bosses that will that's the other thing that blew me away was like you could do random crap throughout the game and it triggers different storylines, but there's no indication that you even started. It's just like you kind of did it and you're supposed to
yeah.
just remember it. And I always like, oh, look at the guy talk funny, and then I don't have any idea what he says and I have to figure out what I'm doing next.
Well, that's yeah, exactly. Because that I'm working on getting the platinum for this game. I figure this is gonna be a good time. We're leading into it early, then we're gonna cover the DLC, and by that point, I'll be strong enough. I just totally wipe out this platinum. But I'm going through and I'm doing Ronnie's quest line now, and it's actually like, for you to actually figure this out on your own, you need to be really paying attention. Like,
There are so many so dedicated players. I just don't know what they have to do this all the time because that this game would take such a deep dive, and I feel like it takes the internet no time at all. Like everyone comes together and immediately figures out everything.
yeah, and any other game, I would almost hold it against it, but with this, it's like I'm totally in. I bought in completely because for one, they craft these worlds that are so freaking cool, and they the detail is there entirely, and it's whatever you want to make of it. If you want to dive in deep, you can do that, and it's truly like a real RPG. This is like one of the only games that I feel myself actually role playing in, where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do this kind of build. Like that's how I started this run. I'm gonna start with the strength build. Then I went to the Raya Lucaria Academy, whatever, and I'm like, I want to pick up that shield. It's got 100% magic block. So I put that on. And it's like, I might as well put on the full armor. And it's, well, like, if I'm going to wear this, I might as well have like a little bit of magic. So I got some intellect. And you kind of like funnel yourself into this little path where now I'm doing Ronnie's quest line and she's a witch. And at the end of the quest line, I get the big dark moon sword. And I'm like, well,
Oh, okay.
I wasn't planning on using this, but now that I got it, I have the intellect build and the armor. I'm like,
Now I might
okay,
as
I'm gonna
well.
just keep going with it. I'm gonna be a strength mage.
I
Um,
I love that there's so many different types. I know that there's one like strength build that's just called like Ooga Booga, and you just beat the ever loving shit out of things. And like there's all the different builds you can do. I know like the bleed build was super strong in the
yeah,
beginning, and people were using that a lot. There's like that samurai sword or whatever you can use, plus the ash of war in the backgrounds. And that's something else I struggle to do. I was so used to the old Dark Souls where you kind of just like you fight blindly, but I never would use my ashes of war, and it would
yeah,
take me forever to figure out
yeah,
to use them.
yeah. There is so much in this game, and looking through it now, because in the past games you've had trophies where it's like, yeah, acquire every weapon, acquire all of the trinkets or whatever, all the different rings at all the different levels, whatever. This game is totally crazy with the amount of talismans and weapons and ashes of war, and it just keeps building and building and building.
Doesn't the DLC get like another 100 weapons? Didn't I see that or something?
They added on 8 different weapon types. I don't know how many weapons they've added. I'm trying to avoid a lot of it because I don't want to spoil it too much. I've seen some of it. I
I
can't
just keep
I can't
seeing, well,
resist.
yeah, I
But
keep seeing the trailers now where people are just throwing hands and everything. But
yeah,
there's always the builds of people just running up and punching the shit out of things. So I'm like, well, that looks like an absolutely blast to play.
yeah, I am very interested, and I want to see what they're doing with this because I heard it has a completely separate leveling path.
Huh.
Now, they're saying you have to get to like Moog, and then from there you can access the DLC. So that's one way of making sure you're strong enough to get there. But if it has a separate leveling path, couldn't you just do that? Or like, I don't know. I guess you could maybe over level it and then go into the DLC and not really worrying about the leveling within the DLC. But I don't know. It I just can't wait, dude. I'm excited. The
Oh
more I'm
yeah.
playing through it, I'm getting further and further, and I'm finding things I've never found before. And what are you seeing?
Oh, I just looked over to look at Moog the Omen, and I'm like, oh man, I don't even know if I fought this guy yet. That's
Yeah,
the other
that's
part of this game. Like I'm running through, I was looking through the boss list, and I technically got to a lower bullshit boss, but then it's like I'm looking up here, and it's like, huh,
yeah.
crap.
You were mentioning you're at Malekith the Black Blade.
I'm more
I
of
don't know
getting
that I've ever
slaughtered by
seen
that
him.
guy.
Yeah, it's
Like I don't know. Maybe I did fight this guy. I have no idea. But if it is what I think, no, it's gonna be a pain in the ass. No, thank you. This is gonna
yeah,
suck.
yeah, yeah. I heard he's like very difficult too. So I don't know, dude. It's I'm really enjoying it. So I've been trying to focus on these legacy dungeons. So I don't know if you've done them. So I did like the Raya Lucaria Academy. That's the one with all the
Okay.
mages and stuff.
Is that like
And
it's got the one woman boss at the end, right? There's like that.
yes,
Okay,
she
yeah.
lets you kind of reset. She was so easy, dude. I went in there and I'm at first I was like kind of worried because I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this, but I think that's the boss. Like they always have one boss in these games where it's like, yeah, you're no problem. I totally take you out. But
Oh yeah, Renala, the
yeah,
carrion queen of the full moon. Now that's a title.
yeah.
That's a damn title.
So far, I've cleared that. I've cleared Stormvale. I went through Redmane Castle. I killed Radon. And then, I was telling you about that this morning. I went and did that Astral Natural Born Void Lord, the big scorpion dude. I am so
Oh
happy with it. Even still, I'm like, I was riding high on that all day today. Where I'm like, I'm so ecstatic I beat that guy because I could not do it. I was trying over and
oh
over and over again.
man, I've actually seen this guy. I don't think I ever fought him. Apparently, you have to beat him to get a certain ending. But like, what? Who
Yeah.
comes up with this stuff?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
who designs the characters? What happened to them? What horrible trauma did they sustain to be able to make this up?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. They are so masterful at creating these worlds and the whole thing. So you have this tree of life. It gives life to the whole world. There's like the god, and they follow this tree, but then the tree's dying, and this scarlet rot is taking over. So Millennia, right? Is that her name?
I
She can
believe
turn
so.
into
Yeah.
that weird like flower thing with all the little tendrils coming out of her. So apparently that's a kind of mushroom. And the mushroom lifestyle, it like creates this sludge that will like kind of dissolve and erode things just like the
Okay.
scarlet rot. So it's really like just a mushroom growing off of the dead things in the world. It's contaminating the tree, which might already be dead. It's going to go through all the roots and hit all these little pockets where they've buried all these dead bodies throughout the whole world to try and like rejoin uh the tree. And I don't know, it's
So what are the giant mushroom dragonborn dudes that are like putzing around like outside all like the random like giant mushroom trees or whatever, where you get like some of those tiers or whatever they're called, if I remember correctly. I've
so
always wondered what those guys were putzing around for.
they're I don't know, they're like the Erdtree avatars.
There it is. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
wondering what I could not think of their name.
So the only thing I don't know exactly what they are, but I just kind of figured they guard the trees, the little saplings that are growing throughout the world. So the rot one got infected because he was by all the rot, and they change kind of depending on their environment. But
Yeah, because there's like four of those tree or those things. Although I mean, there's probably more, but I know I've found four of them, and every time those guys whoop my ass, and I feel like I should not be getting my ass kicked by the same guy copy and pasted, but it kicks the crap out of me. I always have to use the what is it, the ram or whatever.
the torrent, the
There it
steam.
is. Yeah, the steed.
Yeah, that makes it so much easier. I kind of forgot the importance of those trees because, like, I'm going through, I'm getting the platinum, but I'm not reading everything. I'm just kind of naturally playing and trying to figure it out and look up a couple
Mm-hmm.
things here and there. And
Do you
so
keep notes?
apparently, yeah, a little bit,
I
mostly
was like,
for the
I feel
videos
like
here. But
you got it because there's no way I don't know how people keep all this crap straight. It's like you need
well,
like a degree to do it.
dude, I got so far in here and I forgot entirely about the flask of wonderful physique or whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
And when you kill all those Erdtree avatars, they drop different buffs, components to that flask. So then you can mix and match them however you want. Like it'll heal half your health, but then they can have two different effects. Like you can have one that heals you more, or something that adds like resistance to physical damage, or all these different attributes.
See, that was my biggest flaw is I'd get this stuff, never look at it.
Yeah.
I would just be like, I'm gonna keep doing the same thing. It's gonna work eventually
Yeah.
when I get my
Yeah.
numbers high enough. It's
Yeah.
literally I just ooga booga'd my way through the entire game so far, and it eventually caught up to me. It kicks the
Well,
crap out of me now.
well, that was like that Astro boss. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. This is impossible. He's like one hitting me from across the map before I can even get to him. So then finally I looked on the thing. I'm like, how do I beat this guy? Like, what is he weak to? And they're like, oh, use a mimic tier. And like, okay, so I did that because I had one. So I just leveled it up and then went in there with him and he died, pretty easily. But then if I stayed aggressive, it would keep the boss off of that mimic tier and then he would actually do some good damage and we killed him, no problem.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, because I didn't know that there was a mimic tier until I think I got like halfway through. Then I saw a video that they're in there. I'm like, well, that's a cool thing. You
yeah,
can't
and
necessarily get someone to help, but you can summon a little dude to yourself to run out there and just take some hits.
and
That
you
or I see
could
a lot of people use like the little lizard dude, Ash, or like the slinky guys or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, dude, there's so many different things and I don't know where they get off making a game this good. And there is like a little discussion of how legendary is this game? How important is it? Since they didn't really do anything new. Like, yes, they did the big open world Souls game, but it's just reusing stuff from all the other games. It's
Yeah,
like there's, I guess, some new enemies, but most of it is all reused stuff that we've seen before. Like, I was actually excited when you get down into what is that place called? Knock the big city underground.
oh yeah.
Yeah, and you see the little sludge guys. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That reminds me of Demon Souls. And then you see the sludge guy with the shield on his face, and I'm like, they're using the models from Demon Souls. Exactly.
That is Demon
Yeah,
Souls.
yeah.
Okay.
That's a Phalanx demon enemy there. So that's cool. But
Well, I kind of like. I feel like they had too many neat ideas in the first those games in order to take them out. Like they're definitely fun to bring back, and it does kind of open up things a little bit. Like putting them in that different environment and seeing that you have more ways to kind of take them out. It definitely changes the way this game is played a little bit.
yeah, yeah,
That and I like how they like make it. I mean, all the games are kind of like this, but there is a story, but it's mostly like I don't know, do whatever, go to that
yeah.
thing. Just
That's kind of how.
the game doesn't end, go to that other thing. Oh, the game's not done. Go to that thing. I can't just keep going around and doing things. I guess.
That's kind of what I like though, because that's what draws me into it so much because I'm not being handheld from one situation to another situation. It's kind of like, hey, go, you're in this world, you're a person that doesn't matter. So there's no reason to do anything. It's just what do you
Just
want
a
to do?
loser.
Yeah, go, you're this piece of garbage tarnish guy, and you're gonna just walk around and pick up trash until
And
you save the world.
everyone fucking hates you.
Yeah, everybody.
Everybody wants you dead. We don't know what you did, but you did it, and you're in trouble for it. So, you walk out the front door. There's like an 18,000 foot tall dude on a giant horse waiting to
Yeah.
murder you. Don't worry, he's boss number one, and people can like knock his ass out in no thing. There's like that guy in Dark Souls that like let me solo her or whatever fights Millennia,
Yes.
and like he's like completely unclothed, and he's done it like hundreds of times for people.
Dude, I can't even imagine. I have not even fought her yet. I've not fought her on the last playthrough, and I have not gotten to her this time. Where is she at? She's in the big
Let me.
rot area.
I thought so. Let me see, because I haven't fought her yet either.
I don't even know. I don't know where to go exactly. I started off just going through and exploring the map, trying to unlock all the different areas of the
It's
map.
called Miguela's Erdtree. Liza Elephant. Why can't they just be normal ass names?
Yeah,
Uh,
she's in Philadelphia.
Alfiel. She's in Florida right now. Good luck.
Yeah.
You got to get the. She's in Sarasota with her grandpa.
Yeah, good luck.
Alfiel Brace of the Helg Tree.
Hmm.
So that means literally nothing to me.
What do you
It
think?
depends.
What do you think about this is something I've been mulling around too. I like as I've had this epiphany of how they structured Elden Ring, like I think it's cool, but I do kind of miss how you could go and just say like, "Hey, I'm going to go to this archstone and I'm going to do all the levels there and I know where to go and I have a clear goal." Like, do you think Elden Ring has a clear goal as how to end the game?
Oh, absolutely. There are definitely endings that are good, bad, and like in between.
Yeah,
Uh,
but do you think it's clear how to get there? Because honestly, I don't know what I'm doing right now.
I
I'm
mean, I feel like
looking
it
things
takes a
up right now.
smarter man than me because I honestly need a guide to figure it out. But every time I try to play it, I swear, like, oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna listen. Then I get to the first boss, and I get so pissed that when it's done, I just sit there and I MF the thing as it dies for like 2 minutes, and then I'm like, ah, shit. Now where do I go?
I missed the only cutscene. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm like, I
exactly.
missed the one cutscene, but then he's like, the tarnish smells of a, and you're like, okay, what the hell is going on in this game? It's like, I feel like it takes a smarter man than I, and I've said that about several things in the past, but this is definitely one of them. I can enjoy them, but I definitely do not understand what the hell is going on in the game.
Yeah. My goal for the next video is I want to try figure out what circumstances need to be fulfilled in order to finish the game. Because I know you have to get like I think it's two of the Elden Lords need to be defeated, and then you can progress into the ending of the game. But how you do that, where you go, I don't really know. Um, so yeah, that's kind of
Like, I thought I'd get like an answer where it was like, yeah, just do this, and then I look at it and it's like a literal
yeah,
page explaining it.
there's
Oh
there's
man,
yeah, there is so much in this game. Like I
how
totally
do they
respect it, but
how do they keep this
ah,
shit right? Okay,
and dude,
it's just
so
a walkthrough of the story. Here we
li-
go.
listen to this, okay? They have 3 endings for the platinum. That's great. Usually there's like 3 endings. But come to find out, there's not just 3 endings. There is like 8 different endings.
Oh yeah,
Each
no, there's so many.
each of the competing covenants have like their own ending. I kind of want to see them all, but I don't know if I'm going to do all that. Like that's crazy. At that point, I'll just do it for the platinum and be done and say I'll just Google the other ones. But
Oh, apparently I might be kind of close. All I said is you have to. It's once you beat Melikath, and I was like, oh, that's one of the last things you got to do.
so you're on the second to last boss.
Maybe for just the story, I have no idea what the hell's going on, man.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose it's different if you're going to 100% it or not, but
And I do remember I did the part where I got like you get to like Lindell or whatever, and you like old bosses just like materialize in the field, and you have to fight them. And
no.
yeah, like I know, was it? I don't. Is it Godfrey or is it Margit or whatever his name is? Like that
Margit
first
Bell.
boss at
Yeah.
the yeah. I don't know what is about that asshole, but he kicks the shit out of me
Yeah.
every single time. I don't know if I'm too eager and I'm not like slowing down or whatever, but he punishes me every single time I fight him, and it is no different when I got to him the second time. I was like, I'm a different guy. I'm gonna kick your ass. Just wiped the entire side
Yeah.
of the street
You
with
got
my
Guts'
face.
sword, you're like, "All right,
Uh,
try me now." And
I'm gonna
get
beat this guy's ass, but no,
yeah.
this guy beat my ass. Like he
Yeah.
beat the shit out of me, and it was like, all right, second time I got it. Nope, two shotted. Oh, I got this. Oh, murdered. And then it was like, okay, I built my guy up and came back. So it wasn't just like a 2-shot kill. It was like a 5-minute spree of me just getting slowly peppered to
Yeah.
death.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is the worst. The only thing I'm good at is sneaking away to heal as he comes back to slap me again.
Because it's hard to you get hit and you're like, "Oh god, I'm better than this. I can't be doing this." So then you immediately go for the heal, you get hit again, you're like, "Oh my god, this is
And
terrible."
you get into where you go back and you just get the heal off and immediately get hit and you're right
Yeah.
back to where you started.
Yeah. Yeah.
That shit drives me nuts.
Yeah. Like,
Especially when the AI, is waiting for you to heal. Like they would do that in Bloodborne. You'd go to heal and they try to shoot you, and you're like, all right,
yeah.
you dick.
Yeah. I see what you guys are doing there. I
Like,
see what
you jags. All right, you're just going to keep putting pressure on me. And then, like, I watch people parry, and I never got that down. Like, I honestly, it seems like parrying can be overpowered as hell.
Yeah. Yeah. I did learn to parry in Bloodborne, and I actually really enjoyed that, but something about the Souls games, I've never really gotten into it. Like, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but to me, it's not satisfying when you have multiple enemies that can be parried and a bunch of enemies that cannot be parried. You don't really know unless you do trial and error, and even then, like,
Yeah,
your timing is off, which changes from each enemy. It's like, I don't know that this is a reliable thing to plan on. I would just rather play it safe and go through because I'm not going to look that up for every enemy if they can be parried or not. I don't care that
yeah.
much.
Sometimes, like,
Um,
I do have to rely on a guide to get me through, but I ultimately do want to at least, like, try to beat the game.
yeah,
Like, I'll try it for, like, 10 or 15 tries, getting my absolute ass beat up. And then, like, eventually, like, you know what? I'll look up the guide. But then I feel
yep,
like in the game, it doesn't make me better. I just know what to do, but I still suck at it. So it's
yeah.
like, great, now I know what I do, and now I just can't do it because I'm a failure.
Well,
So
that's
it's
like
like, this is the worst.
It's like I was fighting this astral boss, and it's like, yeah, what is it weak to? Exactly the weapon you have.
Yeah.
Great.
That's
So
the
I
worst. You're like,
just,
oh, it's the
I,
problem is just me.
yeah, it
It's a
is. Yeah,
user error.
yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Like,
It's just me. Awesome. Great. And then the other thing too, it's like in this game, you got to use the finger furling remedy or whatever to summon
yeah.
people. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm done. I'm gonna summon help. I'm gonna summon help because goddamn this guy. And I put the shit on and I turn around and there's nothing. There's no signs anywhere. I'm like,
It's
oh,
uh,
okay, great.
not you. We don't want to help you. You're on your own, pal.
Yeah. I checked to make sure I got no password, matchmaking's on, everything's good. Yeah, just nobody playing. Like, great.
I just like every time I'll read this, like I'm looking at this boss right now, and it's like when it leaps away, get ready to dodge. But knowing my dumbass, I'm always like rushing it all the
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
being the exact opposite of my normal personality, being super aggressive towards it, and it just
Yeah.
punished me every freaking time.
Yeah. It's one of those things where with Astral, he had that same move where like he'd be fighting me and then he like disappears. He vanishes into space and then he'll come back flying in from behind you and grab you. It's like, how am I supposed to dodge that? He flew
Yeah.
in from a portal behind me and grabbed me. I
Did
have
you
no
ever get a chance to dodge it? Did you ever get it, or did you always just tank
So
it?
eventually, because I noticed like when he starts disappearing, I just turn around immediately. Like, okay, he's gonna be coming from behind me. And then he'll do this other move too, where like if you're standing in front of him, you want to like hit him in the head because he takes more damage. But the problem with that is he has these big pinchers, so he'll like bite you and eat you. So it's like you just have to know when to move. And I don't know why I got him last night because I felt like he was just standing still a little bit longer than normal. So like they're
He's
taking
like, you
a
know
risk.
what?
I'm going for it.
He's like, I'm just gonna leave this guy do his thing. Like, you know what? You're not gonna lose.
Yeah. So, all right, Garrett, thank you for joining me today. I won't take up any more of your time. We will be back with more Elden Ring content soon. So stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe if you like this video. If you have any topics you want us to discuss about Elden Ring, leave a comment down below. Until next time, I will see you later. Goodbye. This video is brought to you by your support on Patreon. Visit patreon.com/grouchygus94 to help support the channel.